Welcome, my fellow Virgos. This is your reading for May 2023. This is going to be for Virgo Sun, which I am, Virgo Moon, which my boyfriend is, plus a Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising. Some of you are intuitively guided to the reading, and some of you may be checking up on a Virgo. So if you are, just know that your guides know that, so you'll probably receive messages for yourself. I got like something flying at me. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to do something just a little different for your reading, for our reading, let's just say. Real quick, though, I do want to say that I believe Mercury is going into retrograde on May 10th. I believe May 10th or 11th. Don't quote me on that. I just know it's going into retrograde, which is our ruling planet. So just be ready for it. You know what I mean? Like, it always affects me in some way, usually through my readings. Like, I'll do a reading and then boom, it's not there. So, I've learned to prepare, like, or my microphone will shut off, so I check everything now before I even go into a reading when we're in retrograde. And then I feel like, but at the same time, I feel like this is going to be a really, really good month for Virgo. I feel like this is an energy, we're moving into an energy where, we're feeling much more adventuresome, like we want to go on a trip, you know what I mean? Like get in a car and just drive, like a Sunday drive, maybe go on a vacation if you can, that type of thing. And then I feel like the second half is really going to be about your income, your abundance, your creativity. And I feel like May, and this is what I'm picking up intuitively, I feel like May is going to be, for a lot of you, I feel like, or a lot of us, since I'm a Virgo, I should include myself, it's like the finishing up of projects, so I can begin something new. I just feel like, it's also the energy of receiving abundance for the work that you've already put in. So I don't know, even though Mercury's going into retrograde, I have a feeling it's going to be a good month anyway. All right, so let's get into the reading. So we're going to use 4 different decks. We're going to use our Mother Mary for our words of wisdom. I'm doing something a little different for us. I'm going to use the Lightseers as our clarifiers, or like I like to say, to take us a level deeper. We want answers, that's why my readings are long, because, I try to give you as much detail as I can. So, anyway, I decided to bring the Lightseers in, and this is the first time I'm using them as a clarifier. So, but we're going to start with our Psychic Tarot. This has been the deck that I just feel has been fantastic for the month of May, so why change it? And then we're going to use our, here we go again, can't pick up the last card, Star. Our major arcanas, and this is just to get like a bullet point on the whole reading. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll start with Mother Mary. Everything's pre-shuffled, by the way. I want to give a shout out to some of my members who are Virgos. Actually, I have quite a few members who are Virgos. I kind of feel like that's your card, so we're going to take it. Well, hello, marriage. This could be talking about working on a relationship also. But let's see what it says. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. I like how the order is God, then you, then your partner. Right? Because you got to be true to you first and foremost. So we'll read that at the end from the book, but let's go ahead and bring in the major arcanas. Just give them a shuffle. Give them a cut. And let's begin. Let's begin the tarot portion. All right, first card that pops out is Justice. Card of Libra, sorry. Can talk about, let me bring this down a little bit, can talk about the cutting of ties with someone. But if you are cutting ties with someone, it's because you're not feeling whole. Because that's what justice is about. It's fairness and balance. But it's about making you whole. Some of you with the card marriage right there, maybe it is talking about a relationship and that's the point where you're at. Nobody can make that decision but you. But interesting. And then we have the World card. So the next chapter. The World card is a very spiritual period in our life. And I feel like once we enter into that type of energy, it's where we stay. It's letting your intuition make the decision of, maybe whether I cut ties with someone or something. I don't feel like the world shows unless you are ready for the world to show. All right, let's keep going. And then, hello, sun. We'll take it. It's the ruler of Leo. The sun's about illumination. I love that the sun is following the world. Because, as I, let's just say, cut ties to whatever. It doesn't always mean I'm cutting ties with a person. Maybe we're cutting something out that's just not working, within a relationship. Or, again, for some of you, it may be, maybe you want to end a relationship. Whatever it is about you feeling whole again. And once you arrive at that feeling, I feel like then the world shows the next chapter, the next pinnacle. This could be the next 9 years. It could be for the rest of your life. Again, I feel the energy of spirituality within the world. So I feel like once I have that, I don't lose that. And then the sun, complete illumination, living from your inner child. That's probably why I felt like some adventure, some adventure coming our way, whether we're creating it or it's just showing for us. Another thing I feel like it's representing is anything that's moving forward from that point is in complete illumination. So, we don't have to worry about the shadows. Anything done in the dark will come to the light in the sun's energy. But it is also about your inner child and living through your inner child. So, I think that's a great omen. All right, let's bring in the Psychic Tarot. Again, pre-shuffled. But I like to shuffle with you here also. Okay. I can't believe it's going to be May. All right. Well, come on. Love begins. This is the Ace of Cups, your very first card. Love begins. Victory and success. Victory and success. This is the Six of Wands. And then material and spiritual prosperity. That's exactly what I was feeling in the beginning of the reading. Not just material prosperity, but I also felt, especially with the world showing, spiritual prosperity. 2 6s back to back, 66. It may mean something to someone. So we have love begins, the Ace of Cups, with the Six of Wands next to that. So let's talk about the Six of Wands real quick, because the Six of Wands, I often feel this is where, not for everyone, but let's say I feel this is the energy where your energy is very alluring. You know, those who need your words of wisdom, or I don't know, I just feel like you're being celebrated. There could be someone with the Ace of Cups right before it who does take notice of what it is you do in the world, what you bring to the world, whether it be through, again, your career or just who you've become. And then, you know, the six, the material and spiritual prosperity, right under the sun. Okay. Well, let's see what's mirroring the Ace of Cups. Jeez. All right, Seven of Swords. Interesting. So here they say deception and envy. Huh. Why? You know, I feel like justice here, where potentially I'm cutting ties to someone or something. I feel like one of the reasons why I may be cutting ties is because it's almost like someone has a hard time someone has a hard time with you doing well. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, why are you getting all the prosperity? So I do feel like there is this energy. It's interesting that they're mirroring each other, right? Love begins, but then deception and envy over here. Now, I don't feel like this is talking about someone coming in who's going to be untrustworthy. I just don't feel that. I feel this is more about energy of someone who is not celebrating you for all that you are. All right, let's keep going. Very interesting. Oh my gosh. All right. Hello, Ace of Swords. Two aces connected. The Ace of Cups and then the Ace of Swords. We have the Chariot. Triumph. You know, interesting, coming under victory and success. Hello. You know, here is our material prosperity. Triumph. This is the year of the Chariot, by the way, as represented by the Tarot. You know, and so we want to think about that Chariot, right? Because the Chariot really talks about, again, balanced energy and understanding that, like, what I think about, I bring about. My intention is 9/10 of the law. I also feel like I may be hearing from someone. Some type of call may be coming in. Some type of communication with the Ace of Swords right there. You know, you have a lot of energy of success and prosperity. The only thing we have that is not, let's say, by the way, a 7 and a 7 over here. So we have 2 6s and 2 7s. Oh, 2 1s. 2 1s, 2 6s, 2 7s. So this is unlimited potential. So don't put any limits on yourself. Don't put any limits as it relates to love. Card of Cancer, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Firm foundation. And then the waiting game. Interesting. Under deception and envy. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance. Patience. Patience, my child. Patience. Obstacles and challenges underneath that. You know, I find that interesting because obstacles and challenges, I feel like this is what we've been going through. Like, we have been going through challenges. We've been overcoming them, right? Obstacles, we're learning how to go around them or deal with them immediately. Patience, it's like, you know, it's required maybe for this world energy to open up. You know, and it's interesting too because, you know, deception and envy and then the waiting game, it almost feels like this is separate energy of yourself. Like this is you, this is someone else. Patience talks about divine timing. You know, you know, we got the marriage card, but then we get justice. Now, I feel like if you're in, let's say, a partnership, and, you know, maybe it has not been good for a while, I do feel like this is the energy of, you know, first of all, I feel like what it's talking about for those in a partnership, that, you know, I feel like conversation is the way to heal what needs to be healed as it relates to that. Now, let's say you're in a partnership, but it's not fulfilling. You're not feeling whole, right? You know, then I feel like that's where justice is representing the cutting of ties. Again, I get this energy of someone not like, I don't know why, but almost like, I don't want to see you. It's not that they don't want to, well, I don't know. I just get this energy like I don't want to see you do well. But too bad. Too bad. Some of you, when I said the sun, you know, what's done in the dark will come to the light. You could talk about, you know, that you found that someone's energy was untrustworthy and you had enough. Maybe I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for them to change. And maybe they just feel incapable of the change that I feel that would soothe you. All right, let's bring in the Lightseers. And let's go over this. Let's give them a cut. And we're going to start at the beginning, but we're reading everything as a whole. We have the Eight of Wands, fast-moving energy. Interesting because patience over here, temperance is saying, patience, my child, right? Patience to allow things to come to fruition. But also, I feel like sometimes the universe is waiting on us. And I say that because with the 5 below this, you know, obstacles and challenges, you know, I feel like temperance is saying, you've got to learn how to overcome these obstacles, how to get through these challenges. And, you know, 5 is about change. Well, justice to me would be change. But then the 8 of Wands is fast-moving energy. What I think about, I bring about. Ace of Cups. Happens fast. You know, it's almost like maybe I've been sitting here with this type of energy, deception and envy and the waiting game, and maybe I've been waiting for, you know, someone else to change or what have you, but I feel like there's not going to be any change here. I just don't feel it. I don't feel like they're going to change. And if I'm waiting for that, well, then I may have to keep waiting. But I feel like really what's happening is this Ace of Swords is bringing in some type of, let's just say, communication that starts things moving for you. Again, I feel this part, almost like I want to separate this a little bit because I don't feel like they belong to this reading. I mean, they do, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they don't belong to your energy. I feel like this is, even if it's what's going on now, I don't feel like this is something that you want to stay in. Remember, 8s are about a new beginning, but it is about the self. 5 is about a change. So Temperance is right in between the two of them, right? The change. And then I make that change, even if it's just like energetically. And that gets the ball rolling. We have the King of Wands. Can be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. We have the Four of Cups. It's interesting because I really wasn't going to read anything in reverse, but like it came face up in reverse. And I feel like when it comes face up, I got to kind of keep it that way. So let's talk about the Four of Cups for a second, because it's coming over material and spiritual prosperity. So it's important. This Four of Cups is, first and foremost, it asks you to use your spiritual discernment as it relates to any decisions, anybody, you know what I mean, energy, period. But then this can also be the energy of discontentment and boredom, and maybe not doing a lot about that. But in a lot of tarot decks, you'll see in the Four of Cups that one cup is actually being handed to this person, and often feels the hand of God. So coming in reverse, I feel like, yes, I've been a little discontent with my life. But I feel like, and then I make some necessary changes. You know, I deal with some necessary challenges and learn to overcome them. And I feel like, you know, as soon as I do, it's like the Four of Cups in reverse. And there's that adventure again that I feel. Some of you, it's adventure within your creativity, your creative house. You know, this King of Wands could be someone who potentially you're cutting ties with. He is coming over justice. You know, it could be someone who has a lot of ego. You know, thinks they know it all, but really doesn't. This could also be, and you know, I'm saying that because we have the Chariot here, so I feel like for some of you, this is energy that you are leaving. And it doesn't have to be a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. I just do feel, I really do feel ego, though. Strength card. Card of Leo. So we have double Leo on the board. You know, King of Wands could be a Leo, could be a triple Leo. You know, could you imagine that? Sun, moon, and rising. Anyways, strength card. The strength card talks about learning to tame the beast within ourselves. Finding balance within ourselves. You know, it's the masculine and the feminine. It's the light and the dark. It's coming over deception and envy, the Seven of Swords. Maybe someone has a realization. But for some of you, I feel like this is overcoming someone at the same time. It's funny how I'm getting, look at that, the Leos right by each other. If this is someone that you're leaving, let's say, I feel like the Strength card is saying, be careful not to take that energy with you. Because I feel like in this type of energy, it's almost like I can't change them. And if I've been waiting for them to change, again, I don't know that it happens. I'm not going to say it can't happen, but the Strength card's talking about you. And I feel like, you know, it's saying don't allow your heart to become hard due to like people who've been untrustworthy, whatever that may mean for you. Strength card, you know, I love the image of the Strength card here, where this is half woman, half lion, but she's got this gentle little lamb on her lap. So that's what she's trying to find, right? It's like the spirit warrior, and learning that that's who I am. Another 8, 2 8s mirroring each other. It's like when I can find this balance, when I can tame the beast within myself, boom, I feel like then energy starts moving very quickly. Again, coming over love begins. So I feel like if I've had to deal with anyone who's had untrustworthy energy, I feel like I'm learning to overcome that. I'm learning to overcome them, and it doesn't even have to just be love, even though it does say love begins, but in any area of your life. Okay. Okay. We have justice. Now, justice did show in the reverse. So we have justice twice, double Libra, by the way. But I feel like, why would it come in reverse? Well, it may come in reverse because you may simply have cut ties, right? Right at the beginning of the reading, you may have simply cut those ties. And then it promises that then the world chapter opens. I love the world chapter. I feel like it is the closest to God. It is when my spirituality is alive. You know, it is when I'm using my spiritual discernment and my energy. I just know. I know what I know, what I know. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups can be Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Coming over a Cancer card. Just look at her. She's connecting. She's connecting to above. As above, so below. This is someone who has learned to balance her energy. You know, and don't worry about if, like, because I feel like this is you. And I feel like, you know, it's interesting because I felt this very early in the readings for May that, you know, it's like a lot of us been living under the water, and now we're starting to like pop out. It's almost like, you know, winter is over and spring is coming out, and we're starting to slowly emerge. But this is someone who is trusting her intuition. She's looking for that inspired energy. This is also someone who would have an open heart. And then we have the Empress. Beautiful. So I feel like, you know, I know that many of you are the Empress or the Emperor, whether you're male or female. I know that many of you have already carried that energy and you figured a lot of things out, right? Especially as it relates to energy, or what I think about, I bring about. Whatever energy I vibrate at is what's going to come back to me. The Empress is so creative, and it makes sense that you'd have not just material but spiritual prosperity there. She's someone who definitely pays attention to her intuition. You know, the sun here is like all the signs will be illuminated. Almost like you don't even have to guess, like, was that a sign? And if you do, ask your guides to send a sign again, clearer, so that you can understand it. And then don't second guess it. Now, the Empress wouldn't do that. I feel like some of you may have stayed in a relationship because you are a mother, and you don't want to break up a relationship, a family, let's say. Now, I feel like with the marriage card here, first and foremost, like if you feel like you've given all you can give and no one, and it's not being sent back to you, you know, I mean, it's completely up to you what you want to do there. But I do feel like for some, it's like almost like your vibration has raised and someone else's hasn't. And because of that, and maybe that's why I even separated the cards here, because I feel because of that, it's almost like, how can we stay in each other's lives? I'm vibrating up here, you're still vibrating down here, right? You're refusing to be honest, let's say, or, you know, you carry that energy of envy, not you, them. Because again, I feel like someone not wanting me to have all I deserve. But the Empress would know better. Some of you, I feel like you're connecting to your mother. And she's trying to guide you. And I feel like, pay attention to that. Because I feel like, I don't know, like, why wouldn't you? The Empress is coming over a firm foundation. So I feel like she's building herself a life. Maybe she's starting over. But even if that's the case, it's just like, you know, I feel like you're the Empress and you've grown so much. You've come to this real understanding in life, and you've learned that sometimes, you know, I don't feel like the Empress would ever wait on someone. I just don't. I feel like you're either going to be part of my life or you're not going to be part of my life. And if, you know, if I have to guess, then that's my answer. At least that's what I feel the Empress would say. All right, let's keep going. We have the Hermit, card of Virgo, the Wise One, the Old Soul. You know, just like the Empress, I feel like we've been here before. We've been through these situations before. The Hermit can speak about like going through the dark night of the soul. It may have been the last chapter or the last pinnacle, last 9 years. But this Hermit is emerging from the cave. And I feel like, you know, when the Hermit's emerging, that means the Hermit's found the wisdom that he was seeking, she was seeking. I also feel the Hermit becomes like a great teacher. You know, carries, like, how do I want to say this? All of a sudden I feel like the Hermit is like half earthly and half spiritual. But really, we're all of that. This is about shining your beacon of light outwardly. You know, and I do feel like the Hermit feels best when they're trying to help others. But again, it's due to wisdom. And I feel like a lot of times, like, the only way I could gain this type of wisdom is to go through these experiences. And sometimes they're difficult. I feel like someone's having a realization of maybe I've been waiting for someone to make a change, and I'm just like, I'm starting to understand that maybe they're incapable of it. All right, we're going to pull these down here, and we're going to go right down the middle and connect them all. So, we're going to look at that Ace of Cups with that Ace of Swords, with the Eight of Wands over it, fast-moving energy. Justice in reverse. King of Swords. Interesting. Now we have 2 different kings on the table. This king is coming over the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords, though. This can be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but you know, it doesn't have to be. There is a Libra card right below it, though, just to throw that out there. So this king is someone who, you know, it's funny because deception and envy, if this king was in reverse, that could very well be that king. But I feel more it's this king. Again, kind of forget the signs, because I feel like this is talking about someone's ego. And I feel like someone who just doesn't back down. You know what I mean? And, you know, the 4 cups beside that king, I feel like, you know, I've been discontent in that relationship or with that person. But I have to, you know, I feel like this is you making a change. So anyways, I feel like this King of Swords may be someone who's going to communicate with you. Interesting, I just noticed the owl here. And I don't know why it's bringing me back to the Hermit card. But I think of wisdom. You know, like this king has climbed his mountaintop. He's sitting at the top of the mountain. So he's learned to overcome his own obstacles and challenges. Probably has had to overcome some things in his own life. We have the 10 of Swords. Okay. I almost feel like, how could I not be walking away from the King of Wands? Again, forget the signs. To some of you, it could certainly be a fire sign. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like, you know, I read more of the energy of a person. So I feel like, again, you know, we don't have to keep talking about this king. Because 10 of Swords, it's like dagger after dagger after dagger in my back. 10 of Swords, I feel like, can certainly become a repeat pattern. I feel like the waiting game is over. And I feel like it's you drawing a line in the sand. I feel for some of you like your prayers are being answered. You're given guidance as to your next steps if you choose them. I do think you had to have the realization that maybe I was in a repeat pattern. Again, all the daggers ended up in your back. But, you know, in a lot of the 10 of Swords tarot cards, you'll see someone who is either laying face down or face up with all these swords. You know, face up, it's like, I know they're coming, right? Because it's a pattern. I've seen these swords before. You know, it could be someone who you were with who says, I'm going to be honest this time. But damned if they don't do the same thing again. And I feel like this is like, I just feel like, Virgo, there's no more waiting for you. You know, like, you're either going to be in my life or you're not going to be in my life. And if you're going to be in my life, you must be of integrity, of truth. This is what this King of Swords would require. And it's interesting because justice is reversed below this king. Justice is in an upright with this king. Wow, hello. King of Pentacles. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. You know, this is a king who sees life from the big picture down. Remember, the Queen of Pentacles, her specialty is picking up those details that a lot of people miss. I feel like that's why there's a lot of us tarot readers who are Virgos. You know, and the more that we practice that, the easier it becomes. Like, I just feel like readings, like, the messages just come. I don't have to even look. Anyway, King of Pentacles. Could certainly be you. And it can talk about you, if you're a female, being more in your masculine energy. Getting things done. This king is holding a big old pentacle in his hand. He seems very relaxed, very chilled out. We have the High Priestess. This is your intuition. Coming over deception and envy and the waiting game. I feel like, listen, I feel like if you're with someone, or you were with someone who just has a habit of doing, I don't know, maybe cheating, but again, just untrustworthy, maybe lies, it does feel like it's too much. I don't know about you, but I couldn't live like that. I have lived like that, and it was hell. I couldn't do that again. Like, I could not be with someone that I could not trust, or that I even had to worry about. Trust your intuition as it comes to who you feel may not be truthful in your life, and who you feel will be. Alright, I want to go back and I want to look at, I'm just going to look at these kings real quick. 3 kings. Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum. We have the Death card. Just kind of turned itself in reverse. Death card can be it's a card of Scorpio. But it's a card of endings. So that a rebirth can take place. You know, you have these 2 aces down here. I want to take another one on the King of Wands. We have the Moon. Card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. It's funny, we have the Sun and the Moon. You know, if you're in, let's say, a twin flame relationship, I don't know why I'm bringing this up all of a sudden, but I feel like if you're in one and the energy is difficult, don't wait for them. You know, like the runner and the chaser, I feel like that was a man-made thing. Excuse me one second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So anyways, we got the Moon card. Following the Death card in reverse, so I find that kind of interesting. Because the Moon could talk about those shadows, right? And again, I feel like with the 7 of Swords here, what's ever done in the dark will come to the light. Card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. I don't know if I said that. So, you know, the Death card is about, it says it right on it, death/rebirth. Some of you are still in this energy, I feel like. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So we're only looking right now at the King of Wands. Or maybe this page is someone of a younger time. This could be someone you went to school with. You know, I feel like if anything, like if there's been uncertainties around someone, you're going to learn of them. You're going to know of them. Okay, let's look at this King of Swords, who is sitting over both these aces. Well, hello, 2 of Cups. So I felt that. And that's why I'm trying to get you not to listen to like just the signs when you watch tarot. think of the energy, because again, this is a soulmate energy, and it does not have to be just an air sign. I'm not saying just an air sign. For some of you, it certainly could be. This is a soulmate. Coming over the Ace of Cups, love begins, and the Ace of Swords, triumphant success. So, I don't even think I need to ask any more about that king, but let's look at the King of Pentacles. Whoops, actually we got another card here. We have the Six of Swords. And then we have the Knight of Wands. Six of Swords. This is you doing exactly what Temperance asked for. Understanding what has been holding you back, who has been holding you back, why are they even holding you back? And if there's nothing you can do about it, there is something you can do about it. Does that make sense? Because 5 is change. The 6 tells me that not only do you see it, understand it, but then you do make the movement. I feel like that's also why the 4 of Cups is in reverse. It's almost like you're ready to take this adventure, but it may be an adventure in love. And then that moves into the Knight of Wands. Well, I like that. Because remember, a knight is meant to reach you. Meant to bring you something in. Usually sent by the king or the queen. This is passion. This is desire. It's in the upright. It can be fast moving. We have fast moving. You know, it's almost like this Ace of Cups comes in so quickly. Alright, let's take one more over this king, and then I think I'm going to pick everything up and look at these 2 aces on their own. But let's look right at the King of Pentacles. Some of you, it's you. Some of you, it's you. Listen, I often feel the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles would be great business owners. So some of you, that's what you're doing, especially with the Empress right here. But let's look. Put patience back where patience was, or temperance. We have the Magician, the Manifester. Listen, if the Empress wants to manifest something, the Empress is going to manifest it. Now, if the Empress wants to manifest something, because she is wise, right? Because she trusts her own energy, I don't feel like she's going to try to manifest anything that's not of the utmost. But we're looking at this king. This king may be manifesting. But again, for some of you, I feel like you are the king. Alright, we have the 6 of Pentacles. And then we have the 5 of Cups, okay? This could be someone that you used to know that still lives in your heart. It's interesting. I'm getting this energy of like, here I was in this relationship with someone who I feel like has put me through hell. And what got me through that, I feel like maybe, potentially, someone else, like someone of a younger energy, someone who I do feel like probably lived in your heart, you know, whether it be this King of Pentacles, whether that's you or a king, you know, someone else. You know, what does the 5 of Cups say? Don't get stuck in your emotional energy. Don't get stuck in woe is me. You know, like the 4 of Cups is just kind of sitting in that discontentment, right? But because it's reversed, I feel like no more. Then you have a lot of movement in this reading. So I feel like this 5 of Cups is temporary, but I feel like it's energy that maybe you had been in, but it's a 5. So there's change. What happens when you change this energy? Well, there's 2 cups that have yet to be discovered. Well, here they are. So these 2, not only the 2 of Cups, but the Ace of Cups. I feel like some of you remember someone who was just giving, very compassionate. And I feel like they're even more so now. I definitely feel like they're more so now. You know what I mean? I feel like this is someone with balanced energy. You know, doesn't just take, but loves to give at the same time. Very compassionate type energy also. So, you know, all the kings are showing up in pretty good energy except for the King of Wands. And, you know, the King of Wands has just shown up with a lot of uncertainty. So I can't help but relate him back to that Seven of Swords. Okay, let's pick this up though. And let's go a little deeper if we dare. And we'll use a completely new deck. I want to keep the two out. Get rid of that 10. Put those over there. So we're going to keep these two aces. And we're just going to kind of surround them. Let's pick these up too. Give ourselves lots of room. Let's use the Gilded Chariot. So, love begins. Ace of Cups. Triumphant success. Ace of Swords. Two of Cups. Soulmate. Interesting. Both aces have a 1. Put them together, that's a 2. And then the Two of Cups. You know, I feel like if I'm changing my life, I'm changing it for the better. I feel like it's taking more control of your life at the same time. Alright, we have the Eight of Cups. So that kind of fits because I feel like that is the walking away. But it's a walking away from, you know, your emotional house with clarity. Like, I know what I need to know. I'm allowing myself to have a new beginning. In what? Well, Ace of Cups. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. It's almost like you're given a choice of which direction you want to go. I mean, I feel like you're always given choices. Look at this. Five of Cups now is directly tied to this Ace of Cups. So I feel like this Ace of Cups is someone who has lived, let's just say, within your soul, within your heart, maybe even within your mind. You know, it reminds me of like before Sam and I got together, you know, like during some difficult times in my life, I would just think of him. Not always, but you know what I mean? Like it was like almost like I escaped through that energy. But I feel like this is changing. I know that someone must be making a change because, again, the Five of Cups says that there's still two cups that have yet to be discovered. But we've discovered these two cups. So let's keep going. We have the Devil, card of Capricorn. I want to see what comes next to it. We have the Four of Cups. Interesting. In the upright. You know, we have the Two of Pentacles here. So this is trying to make a decision, right? I feel like first and foremost is clearing of the emotional house. Like, you know, sometimes it just means like if we go back to the last spread and we had deception and envy and the waiting game with that, you know, I feel like I'm coming to the realization that I just can't change those who do not want to be changed. And it's not even my job to change them, right? Like, this is more, I feel like, the energy of, if I'm going to fall in love, then I just feel like it has to be, I want to say worth it, but I do feel like it's worth it. Must be of integrity. I feel like for some of you, you may have even been in contact with someone while you're still in a relationship, though I don't feel like there was much to that relationship, at least anymore. And then someone may have like unexpectedly reached out. That may be why we saw the Four of Cups reversed, right? It's right over the soulmates, but you're questioning it over here. You know, I feel like the Two of Pentacles, they call it the Juggler's card, but I feel like this is using more of my logical mind of what I want in my life. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Wands. Hello, Ace of Cups. So we have the Ace of Cups again. This person in the Eight of Cups is just saying, you know, I'm unsatisfied with the way things are going in my life, especially as it relates to love. But I see that, I know that, and I know that to give myself a new beginning, I've got to walk away from certain type of energy. And then I feel like the universe responds very quickly to you with this Ace and this Ace. And what's mirroring that? The Knight of Wands. So, second time we've seen the Knight. So again, this Knight is bringing passion and desire, all that. It can be fast moving. It's like simply, I feel like when I make the changes that are best for me, the universe is responding. It's like meeting your vibration. And what else I love is the Three of Pentacles here, especially when it relates to love. Now, this can just talk about your craft and doing something that you love and being good at it. You know, this is about your uniqueness within the world, let's say. But I also feel like this is the energy of other people admiring you for what you do and who you are. I mean, who better to recognize you than a soulmate? Because, you know, a soulmate, you know each other. Whether, and I'm not just talking from this lifetime. So someone who knows you, your soul uniquely. And then the Ace of Cups. Look at this. Two of Wands. You're saying yes. You know, I kind of like it when the Two of Wands shows as it relates to love, because I feel like often what it's speaking about is just taking a step forward, taking a step into it. This is not overthinking anything, right? This is me following, you know, what feels passionate to me. This Knight is helping to bring in that. You know, sometimes I feel like I start to feel it before it even shows. You know, it's almost like here I've been thinking of someone, and though I've been dealing with a whole lot of stuff over here, you may have just had communication come in, and, you know, sometimes it feels like the wrong time, like, oh, but I've got so much going on, but maybe it's exactly what you needed at that time. I feel like I'm saying yes. You know, and it's interesting because it's mirrored by the Five of Cups up here, where I'm kind of lost in my emotional house. Well, the Eight of Cups would have you clearing that up and moving out of your emotional house. Now, when I say out of your emotional house, what I really mean is a balance of your emotional house. I can't know why every cup is knocked over, and sometimes, you know, it just is what it is. Makes sense where it says love begins, and then we go to the Two of Wands. Look at this. The Lovers. First of all, it was a card of Gemini. The meaning of the card is a head over heart decision. I could see that over here, right? I could see that for some of you, like, you know, here I am in my current life, and my heart's not happy. So, making a decision, do I stay or do I go? Two wands beside it tells me chances are you go. Lovers. I feel like it's chemistry. Interesting, you have the Lovers and you have the soulmates. And you had the sun and the moon. You know, what do I look for when I look for a twin flame? I look for the sun, the moon, the Ace of Cups, and the Lovers. You have all that. Now, I don't want you to get hung up, though, on whether it's a twin flame or not. I just don't want you to get hung up on that. Because love is love. And then look at this. The Ace of Wands. You have three aces. Right here. I mean, you know, right under the Two of Cups, right next to the Lovers. This is, you know, where this ace is saying love begins. This ace to me is saying, and passion begins. Not just love, but passionate type of love. We have the Three of Swords that is connected to the Hangman. So that would kind of make sense, right? Three of Swords can talk about, you know, previous heartbreak or heartache, that type of thing. The Hangman is, you know, temperance over here. I feel like it is healing of the heart. Eight of Cups definitely helps you to heal your heart, you know, and again, don't overthink things. Like some cups you just cannot explain. Some cups that have been spilt, you know, but I feel like if they're spilt, they're meant to be spilt. Many of the cups are spilt. I have learned great lessons from. Maybe I'm learning how to really be in love, right? How to open myself up. You know, as Virgos, we can have a hard time. Like, doesn't mean we don't feel it, but to express it. So, the Hangman just seems like a little bit of a pause in action. Now, this can also relate back to, you know, because if this is someone from your previous earlier life, let's say, certainly the Three of Swords was probably involved. But I feel like if this is something you want, then you got to be able to heal the heart. And you got to be able to let go, right? You can't hang on to it. And I do have to say, I feel like there's been a period of time in between. Even though some of you, I feel like you could have still been in a relationship and then hear from someone of your past, and it like, you know, it ignites your soul again. Because I feel like you've been like, almost like I've been living in discontentment. And then boom, like my telephone rings. Ace, the love begins. Two of Wands, I'm just stepping into it. I can't deny the passion that's connected to it. But I also have to recognize the heartache that maybe at one time was connected to it. So I'm just going to look over that Three of Swords. Because everything else is just so beautiful. We have the King of Cups. And look at this, the Four of Swords. So this is the healing. I mean, this is quite beautiful because we have the Three of Swords and we're only asking, why is the Three of Swords here? So that you can heal it. You know, not you heal it, so you allow healing of it. Maybe, you know, the King of Cups can be a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, for sure. But this is also a king that would come to the table wanting to be in a relationship, wanting love in their life. You know, this is someone who having that special person is important to them. And I don't think you're the only one who had been sitting in that Five of Cups. I have a feeling they have also. Why is that Three of Swords here? So we need to heal it and then let it go. Let it be. You know, three swords are piercing the heart, but one sword is our own making, what the sword that we lie upon. Interesting that that sword is right in the middle of the spread. So I feel like two people have really grown, truly have grown. And listen, they both may have gone through like similar situations or going through similar situations. And I know like it's best like if love's going to begin to be free and clear, right? But sometimes that's just not life, you know, like sometimes this communication comes in what feels like at the right time, though that may have me having to deal with other issues, and that is, do I stay or do I go in with what I'm in right now? I don't know that how you could. I mean, look at these lovers. Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Ace of Cups. Alright. Is there anything else? I think I want to look at real quick the Devil's energy that's coming between the Five of Cups and the Four of Cups. We have the Wheel. Destiny. You know, I feel like I can certainly speak of a Capricorn for some of you, and I feel like, you know, I feel like you get along great with Capricorn. But I also feel like this is saying, you know, when I look at my life and I look at the circumstances of my life, I need to, like, healing the heart, right? And not hanging on to what isn't serving you any longer. The Wheel to me signifies that it's not only about like love beginning and success and soulmates and twin flames and all that, but it's also about the lessons that have been difficult, that really have, once we see it and learn to overcome it, the growth factor is amazing. And I think that's why the World card was there, right? So I feel like that. And I also, just the way it's pointing, I didn't even realize that right at the 5 of Cups. I don't know. I just took more cards. I wasn't even planning on it. We have the Emperor. Well, we had the Empress. We have the 7 of Cups. And we have the Magician. We're going to take these quickly. The 6 of Swords. The 6 of Wands. And then the Page of Swords. Yeah. I feel like your phone's going to ring. And then I feel like it does put you in decision mode. Now, listen, some of you, this can also be relating to your career. Just take all that energy of what is not working, right? Like, can be untrustworthy energy around you. And then knowing that, you can really create abundance for yourself through your own wisdom and experiences. I feel like when the Emperor shows, now can be in Aries for sure, but the Emperor is someone that we would look up to. And he has the 6 of Wands right below him. So I find that kind of interesting because, it's almost like the Emperor's platform. Page of Swords feels like the communication, right over the Ace of Swords. The Magician over the 2 of Wands. Manifesting of, and then the 6 of Swords, leaving what was no longer serving me and moving into a I don't know, I feel like a much more loving and abundant type life. I feel like, some of our chapters have been difficult, but this feels like rewards for like all the work that you've done on yourself, in your career, with your families, all that. I feel like the rewards, like why, but it does have you questioning whether to move forward with something. It does have you questioning that, and I feel like that's why the 4 of Swords is here. Like, if I can heal the heart, the mind, and the soul, and then learn to really trust energy. If someone's coming towards me, and we saw the Empress, and now we see the Emperor. If they're coming towards me, and they're not of trustworthy energy, your soul's going to know it. Your intuition's going to sing it, right? Like you're going to know. The problem is when we start to overthink it. So I only bring that up because there is a little bit of uncertainty, right? Does this mean this is what is definitely going to be? Well, I feel like it's up to each one of us, because there's energy that if I don't change, well, then I probably remain in the same energy, right? But if I'm really discontent with my life and I do want change, especially with the Magician here, this is the second time we saw him, the ability to manifest. Remember, you're manifesting through your energy. It's like when you put your intentions out there, the universe isn't breaking them apart. Oh, she's looking for love. No, you're just putting out the highest vibration that you can. Doesn't mean, and it just keeps raising. And remember, your vibration is going to meet you back. It's going to match what you put out there. So, a lot of love readings again for the month of May. But I feel this, I've said this at the beginning of the year. I feel like this is a year where a lot of lovers are coming together. I feel like the world needs it. It's not always just about like, me and this person's falling in love. But it's the power of your love. Especially the Empress and the Emperor. Powerful couple. And I feel like, both have their own thing. Like, I have my business and they have their business. But I have to say, I often feel when they're in the same reading, If they collaborate, wow. Maybe they're creating a platform together. It doesn't have to be that way, but I kind of feel that way. So, bottom line is, I feel like you have great love coming in. I feel like for some of you, how could it not be someone of the past? Again, it doesn't even have to mean in this lifetime. Remember, soulmates, twin flames, we've been together before, we'll be together again. But in this lifetime, Four of Cups is saying, if you are unhappy with your life, then what changes can you make? And then sometimes I feel like sometimes we're waiting for other people to reach out to us. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone, because I feel like if whoever reaches out, it feels like, even if I don't move immediately on it, it feels good to my soul. It feels good. Okay, let's read marriage. Marriage. You drew this card because your relationship needs loving attention. You've been out of balance lately, with too much focus upon work and intellectual pursuits. Mother Mary steps in and asks you to stop what you're doing and put your energy into your marriage. In fact, make a renewed commitment to it and all of your interpersonal relationships. Allow yourself to care about and connect with each person you love. For unmarried individuals, this card signals a positive and important change in your love life, provided that you open your heart and allow yourself to be authentic and vulnerable with others. Commit to developing your relationships at the highest possible levels so that they are truly love-filled. Amen. I feel like that covered all of us. If I want this to work, the other person's got to want it to work too. And I feel like if they do, then there is a great opportunity for healing of a partnership. But I'm also seeing many are discontent. And you're the one who has to make the decision whether you stay, you go, you make changes, what have you. But I feel like for some of you, you receive an unexpected phone call from someone of the past. I feel like they did live in your heart. And again, the decision comes down to you. Do you move towards that? Everything says yes. Everything says it looks beautiful. Doesn't mean there won't be challenges, but this is the kind of energy where you'll get through it together. So, I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. You probably have the longest reading of the month. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I thank you for all the ways you support my channel. I think I'm going to do this one as a premiere. I love doing premieres because then when you have questions or what have you, I'm right there. Like, we can chat live. So, yeah, I think I may do this one as a premiere. So I will either see you at the premiere or I will see you at our table. Bye-bye.